Welcome everybody to the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. Your home for all wrestling, everything wrestling. What's up, big dog?
What's
I
up?
just realized who I'm sharing the room with. I'm sharing with a fellow partner in the on the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast, a fellow baseball enthusiast. As you know, the Mets just won their first game of the year.
Oh God!
One of many I hope to come. A fellow basketball enthusiast. The Knicks are our Knicks are playing. Well, my Knicks. You know, you're a Knicks and Spurs fan. You know, you've been taking French as of late. You know, because you know Wembanyama is French. You know.
Yeah, we.
Also, as a fellow casino enthusiast, you know,
Yeah, you
we
can
spent
say
our
that
time
too.
down in Philly. First and foremost, I want to shout out American Excellence Wrestling for a great event. That I think that should be the first thing spoken upon anything else, because that was a fantastic event. If anybody has
Absolutely.
not checked them out, that is a must-watch. AXW.
Yeah. So this past weekend we went to Ordsburg, PA, and it was a great event. I enjoyed every minute of it. And just to see what the indie scene is like and what the future wrestlers or stars come about, and just seeing it live, front row. It was awesome. It was
Yeah,
a really great experience.
that was my very first independent event. I know you've done a couple yourself, but the seats where we're at were incredible. So I want to thank everybody incorporated at AXW. Great work. Shout out to all the wrestlers. Shout out to Mimi. Shout out to Matt Quay. Great main event. Mimi put out a great match of her own, and it's built for something even better later on. So first and foremost, shout out to them. Great work. We will definitely be out there at some point in the near future. Yeah, we spent time in Philly, enjoyed the Bartlett's Gino's cheesesteaks down in PA. But yeah, so that was fun what it was. And now, I mean, we're there a week early, but now the week has now arrived for the big one, the great one. 40 years in the making, WrestleMania.
Yeah, man. It's a big one, and 2 nights. I'm still trying to get adjusted to the whole 2 nights thing, but
I love it. I love every bit of it. It's perfect. You're not rushing anything. You're
yeah,
not slowing things down. You know, we watched matches in the past where so my personal favorite is WrestleMania 17, right? Throughout the end, I thought it was a perfect pay-per-view. At the same time, if you go back and watch, go through the archives and watch the matches, some were fast, some were pretty slow, but they all set it up. It was a nice slow cook for the main event, which was Austin versus Rock. So I know you have your personal favorite is the same thing. So there's two, but you had 14, 15 matches for the main event for that one night. And now you have 2 nights, 7, 8 matches. It's a perfect way to go about it.
Yeah, and what hurts me is because WrestleMania is on the East Coast. It is in Philly, and we living in New York. It's like Philly's just a step there. But
we were just there. We were just down there a week ago.
Yeah, we were there, but I had vacation, prior plans, so.
Also, Soto ain't shit because he's going to Puerto Rico again to enjoy the life like again.
It's whatever. it's whatever. But yeah, nevertheless, and then also, so yeah, today we're going to be breaking down the WrestleMania card, night 1, night 2, as well as NXT's Stand and Deliver. So yeah, we'll start with that. We'll start with NXT's Stand and Deliver. On the pre-show, which is going to be Shawn Spears versus Joe Gacy. Who do you have winning this matchup?
So as I kill this French fry, you see, shot the chopsticks. I don't know. It's like Joey Gacy, I think, is due for not just a win, but like a win on a big stage. And Stand Deliver is the ultimate. They're now making it the ultimate, PLE. So. Okay. With Shawn Spears, I don't know. Shawn Spears has done really well lately. I'll take Joe Gacy. I think it's his time to shine.
I'm going to take Shawn Spears.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Shawn Spears for the simple reason that I think, when it comes to NXT, I think they're kind of lacking a true heel and you can
You think
kind of
Sean Spears could
build.
be that?
Yeah, you can build around Sean Spears. As he's returned to the company, and now he has all this momentum on his side. And I think Joe Gacy's just step number one. I think pretty soon, within the next upcoming months, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw Sean Spears in the main event scene in NXT. So, and then we've seen Joe Gacy, his this whole character, which is intriguing and whatnot. But I just don't think it's his time yet. So that's why I'm kind of leaning towards Sean Spears. Rumor has it that Carmelo Hayes will be main roster bound, right? So you kind of need somebody to replace Carmelo Hayes when it comes to a top heel. Right now, it is Carmelo Hayes, and I mean, other than that, I don't see anybody who follows along. So you just need a true heel, and you can build, you can build around Sean Spears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think Joe Gacy deserves a defining moment. I think Gacy winning, that seems like would be the right move. I don't know. Now I want to go Sean Spears because I've been swayed. My opinion has been swayed.
Next we have the NXT Stand and Deliver 6 women tag team match. Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, Kalani Jordan versus JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dane.
So my question to you on this: who is due for a bigger push, Thea Hale or JC Jane?
I think it's Thea Hale. Now that she's I guess you could say come back to her roots when it comes to Chase U. And prior to the character change, she was in the main event scene. She had a shot at the women's NXT championship, which unfortunately she came short. So I think going forward, you can build around Thea. I think this is going to be a run where it's going to focus on Thea becoming champion and that's just my opinion. I think it's going to happen.
No, I'm with you. That's why I asked. I'm with you. I think Thea Hale is going to be the main. It's going to be the number one wrestler in this 6-woman match.
Yeah, I just think JC Jane has done a tremendous job being a heel and whatnot, but I think when it comes to the future and trying to, I guess you could say, because what WWE does well as of late is storylines, right? You have that storyline where it's like redemption for Thea Hale, right? She once aligned with JC Jane. JC Jane obviously stabbed her in the back, and now it's it's her time. So that's why I'm going with Thea Hale, Fallon Henley, and Kalani Jordan.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think her time now has never come out of a better situation because of what she's doing. I think Chase U is going to be the reason why she gets back into the main event scene. She becomes champion. I think all because she aligned herself with Chase U again. I think this is how would I put it? A definitive moment for her to be like, hey, I'm back. And now that I'm back, but I'm here for a good time now. I'm here for a long time, not just a good time.
Yeah. Then we have the NXT North American Championship triple threat match. Obafemi versus Dijak versus Josh Briggs.
So my heart's telling me Dijak, but I think Oba is going to retain here. He's been great. I've thoroughly enjoyed his matches going out past 6 weeks. I think he's been dominant. He's been doing very well for himself. I think he's going to retain. I think he's going to pin Dijak for the win.
You started saying like my heart is with Dijak, and my heart is with Dijak because I feel like Dijak is deserving, but I don't see anybody stopping Obafemi for a while. I think he's going to be
so good.
Yeah, he's done a tremendous job as champion. I think he's going to retain here. I mean, obviously Josh Briggs being the wild card there, anything can happen. But I think a lot of people would want to see Dijak because I think he's owed time. Like you've seen all these NXT events, and he's just put banger after banger after banger, right? He is never. I personally believe he's never disappointed in a high profile match. He always
I agree.
delivers, right? But I just don't see Obafemi losing the championship that quickly, right? Um, so that's why my pick here is going to be the champion who retains.
Yeah, it just he's been so good. Why would you not? Why would you not keep that going?
Right. Next up is the match that I personally believe, well, not personally believe, but is most looking forward to is the NXT Women's Championship match: Lyra Valkyria versus Roxanne Perez. Um, I just love the matchup here. Roxanne Perez with a new attitude, and Lyra Valkyria, who's been dominant. She's been running this women's division for months now. Um, this is one of those things where like it's hard to choose. That's why I said I'm looking forward to this match because it's hard to pick. Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Roxanne Perez here.
Interesting.
I'm gonna go with Roxanne.
That subtle head nod is like, I don't know if I'm confident to pick.
Yeah, I'm not confident with this pick. I'm really not. But I'm going with Roxanne Perez. Unless she gets screwed again, which I mean, it's all possible. But yeah, I'm going with Roxanne Perez to end Lyra Valkyria's run.
I think I think Lyra's gonna win. I think we've been saying it for a long time that this is the end of Roxanne Perez's career in NXT because she should have been pulled up a long time ago, but she hasn't. So I think this now is going to be the chance where Roxanne goes over in spite of her losing. I think it's now time for her to go to the main event. She'll be on the Raw after WrestleMania.
For me, it's just like I don't see it happening. I feel like before she turned, or she went to the dark side, as people, would say. I just think
Heel, but not heel.
I just think that there's more time for her to develop that new character, that new heelish, mean girl thing. So that's why I say put the title on Roxanne. Have her have a solid run, and then whoever defeats her. Let's say like 4 to 6 months, and then she can go on to the main roster. And then when it comes to Lyra, I mean, either she can, she can have a rematch against Roxanne, or I'm just trying to think. Oh, she could start a feud with Tatum, who's obviously still involved, is somewhat involved in this feud, and has been obsessed with Lyra Valkyria for the longest. Like, there's a situation where Tatum can show up and cost Lyra the victory, right? Or the championship win, whether it's this one or the next one, and that's how you can start
So
the
you
feud.
get more matches for Roxanne if Roxanne is the winner going forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then we have the NXT Tag Team Championship match: Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom.
As unorthodox as this group is, this tag team is, do you think Frazier and Axiom take the belt from them?
No.
Is it their time to lose?
No, I just don't see. I just don't see them. I mean, I like the team of Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see them taking the belts off Breaker and Corbin.
Not these. So somebody will, not these two.
Yeah, I already have a team in mind. I'm going with the OC, the Good Brothers. I think they're going to take the titles away from Breaker and Corbin eventually. And then thus, Breaker goes on to the main roster, and I don't know what happens to Corbin, but yeah, I just think with the OC Good Brothers going down to NXT, obviously they're not going to have a championship match right away, but I think they're just going to build to it. And I think the Good Brothers aren't going to be alone. I'm just going to leave it at that. I don't think they're going to be alone. They're going to have some help. Um, I'll let people speculate. Look who's on the free agency market and whatnot. But I think I think that match will happen. Breaker and Corbin versus the Good Brothers, which I believe the Good Brothers are going to be victorious. But in terms of this one, I love the athleticism and fast pace that Frazier and Axiom bring to a tag team match. It's always like must see because of the whole um the high flyers and what they can do in the ring. But when it comes to I just think Breaker and Corbin retain here.
I want to go with Frazier and Axiom so bad, but you keep swaying my fucking opinions. I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go with Breaker and Corbin. It just is as uncomfortable as they look in the ring as a tag team. They work, right, and they work really really well. So if they broke, don't fix it. And until somebody you think is the OC, I can actually really see that happening. So I'm gonna roll with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, I have nothing against Frazier and Axiom. I love them as a tag team, but I just think it's not their time yet. So I'll have Breaker and Corbin hold on to the tag team championships for just a little bit longer until the Good Brothers challenge them, because the Good Brothers were sent there for a reason. I mean, listen, they weren't being utilized as much in the main roster. I mean, barely, to be honest with you. But I think it was just a very interesting move, right? To have them go down to NXT, right? There's a purpose for that. So I'm just going to keep it, simple until the time comes. And yeah.
Okay. All right.
The matchup that a lot of people are looking forward to is Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams.
So, when do you think Carmelo Hayes will come to the main roster?
I think it's at some point after this feud. I can't say like right after this match, right? I just think after this feud, this is Carmelo's Hayes' last feud in NXT. I truly believe that because then he'll be called up to SmackDown. Obviously, past couple of months we've seen him work on SmackDown. Do a couple of matches. So, I don't know. See, because my thing is, if this is Carmelo Hayes' last match in NXT, then he loses here. I truly believe that. But if there's some sort of like trilogy,
I would see a trilogy. I think me personally, I say Trick wins the main, Carmelo wins the next one, and then probably about summertime we get that finale.
I mean, maybe. I think I truly believe if this is a start of a trilogy, I'm going with Carmelo Hayes. So yeah, I'll just lock in my pick. I'm going with Carmelo Hayes. As much as I love Trick Williams and the rise of Trick Williams, you have the fans behind him. Yeah. I truly believe Carmelo Hayes gets the victory here and and puts a stop on Trick Williams. I mean, listen, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a rematch, right? But again, if this was just a one-off, then I'm going with Trick Williams. If this is like a start of a trilogy, then I'm going with Carmelo Hayes. So it's hard to choose, but
I think Trick goes one.
Okay.
Carmelo goes deep into his bag of evil shit as he's been doing. He's been great. The security move was done 2 weeks ago. Was a great idea. All these mind games being played and whatnot. I'm like, this is he's really getting involved and really be heavily invested in this heel mentality, this heel run. So I think he goes deeper into it with the loss. Stand delivery, takes another one, and then it's the best winner take all third match down the line.
Yeah. Or to be honest with you, I would love to see a triple threat match for the NXT championship. You have Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. I would love to see them do that sometime down the line, but it's a matter of, if they're going to pull the trigger on that, because Carmelo Hayes is being called up to SmackDown, and it's like, I even though he's done it, like work double duty, I think the move next for Carmelo Hayes will be SmackDown. So, and speaking of Dragunov and an NXT Championship match, we have Dragunov versus Tony D'Angelo.
I love you, Tony. You've been fun to watch, to enjoy. I love your character. You're losing to Dragunov.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's too hot, too strong, too over with the crowd. And like I said, I enjoy D'Angelo and everybody and whatnot. He's not winning. You haven't found somebody yet who's over enough to say, I'll take wrestler A over Dragunov.
All I'm saying is I'm saying Dragunov, but I'm not saying that confidently, because now with Tony D'Angelo and the family, they might get involved, because if you've noticed the past couple of weeks, you kind of been seeing like a slow heel turn when it comes to Tony D'Angelo. It hasn't been solidified yet, but you're kind of getting those those vibes, right? So I think they somehow get involved in the match, but I think Dragunov still retains. And maybe after the match, then you can, I guess, solidify Tony D'Angelo with like a post-match beatdown or whatnot. But I got to go with the champ here. And to be honest, I'm not really looking forward to this match. I was more looking forward to Dragunov versus Carmelo Hayes,
which I think will happen as well down the line.
I think we just seen, if we have a triple threat match, it makes the most sense, because it's like, Carmelo Hayes has come close to beating Ilya, right? Dragunov. Then you had Trick Williams being so close to beating Dragunov. So a triple threat between them three makes a lot of sense. And then you kind of plug in Tony D'Angelo. It's like, I don't know. It kind of like, I don't know.
This feels like you've been doing so well for us. We'll give you a shot, but you're not gonna win. But we're gonna put you in a match just because.
Right. Next, that caps off NXT Stand and Deliver card. Now ready for WrestleMania Night 1. We'll start with, and this is just randomized because obviously we don't know the order, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio.
I need an LWO hoodie. That's all I got to say about it. I think Dragon Lee being doubted, the future. Now I'm saying the future isn't like we've all been told that Dragon Lee is going to be like the next Rey Mysterio, even though the other next Rey Mysterio is going against them and Dominic, right? But it's just like, does Dom lose back-to-back Manias? Does Escobar and Dom? Does Dom leave Judgment Day and join the LWO? Does he double faction it? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of options to go here down the road, but a lot of the input with Dragon Lee and Mysterio, Escobar and Dom, it's just like, take your pick: heel, face, face, heel. You know,
who you go with?
I'm gonna go with Ray and Dragon Lee.
All right, so I'm not going with the whole face. I'm going with what I saw with these eyes. I'm going with Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. When Rey Mysterio announced that Dragon Lee was going to be his partner, just the way the camera kind of focused on Carlito and how disappointed he looked, expect a heel turn out of Carlito.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Now the question is, will it happen at Mania? Then, I mean, listen, I think it would be pretty cool because, Mania is the grand show of shows, and you want
Right.
some sort of
You're gonna start
shocking.
off the show with you're gonna start off the entire event all together, double night, 2 nights. You're gonna start it off with a heel turn.
Well, I mean, we don't know the order of the match card, but I'm saying like the Carlito heel turn here, it just makes the most sense because everybody thought that Carlito was going to be the guy tagging with Rey Mysterio against Escobar and his son, right? And Dominic Mysterio. But then Rey comes out of the blue and says, "Oh yeah, I'm teaming up with Dragon Lee." It's like, all right, Carlito's like shocked, like I'm right here, So it kind of feels like he's being pushed to the side. It kind of feels like in a way where Rey kind of recruited Carlito and Santos was pushed to the side. So yeah, so I mean that's why I'm going with Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Plus, I think they need the win more. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if Rey and Dragon Lee were to pick up the victory here because they kind of want to build around Dragon Lee. But yeah, it makes much more sense if Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio pick up the victory, especially with this new partnership that has been brewing for the past couple of weeks.
All right, so we're opposites on this point.
Yeah. Then we have for night one the 6 women tag match: Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill versus Damage Controls, Dakota Kai, Asuka, and Kairi Sane.
So this is one of 2 losses that Damage Control will take tonight. Well, we'll take at Mania. I'm going with Belair, Naomi, and Cargill. It's Cargill's first, real match. She's the biggest prospect for the longest time. And I think at this point forward, it's going to be her and Bianca. I mean, Naomi's involved as well, but I think the main attraction here is not just Jade, but when will Jade and Bianca square off? I think it's the beginning of a great friendship, turned sour, turned mega match, probably a SummerSlam most likely. I don't think Damage Control survives Mania. I think shout out to Bianca, Naomi, and Jade for the win going forward.
I mean, I'm kind of with you. I'm going with Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade. It would be crazy if Jade were the one to turn on Bianca and Naomi right in the midst of the match, right?
Or maybe
but yeah, no, I'm going with them. There's no doubt in my mind. It's Jade Cargill's debut. Plus, I think Naomi can't suffer another loss, because then it's like, all right, you brought her back to what? To keep losing? Yeah, exactly. And then Bianca Belair is Bianca Belair. But I think with the victory here, it would kind of lead to a tag match for the tag team titles. Now, the question is, out of these 3 ladies, which 2 would be teaming up to challenge
Bianca and Jade,
Asuka and Kairi Sane? Who knows? I mean, I think in a perfect world you would pick Belair and Cargill, but what about Naomi? You know what I'm saying? Right. So, yeah, no, I'm going with Belair, Naomi, and Cargill here. Should be a fun match. Love the fact that Dakota Kai is back wrestling after she's been on the shelf for months. Obviously, torn ACL. So it's good to see her back in the wrestling ring. Then we continue with night one with the 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. You have the Judgment Day versus Awesome Truth versus DIY versus New Day versus the New Catch Republic versus A-Town Down Under.
You know where I'm going, right?
I have a feeling.
Okay, so you can go first, and before you answer for me, you can go first.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm glad. So, watching Monday Night Raw, the fact that Michael Cole emphasized that both sets of titles must be retrieved to win the match,
which you said for a while that was
he really emphasized that. leads me to believe, and I think they have a perfect situation here to split the titles. So, with that being said, there
Who's
should be
taking one and who's taking the other?
there should be two teams, um, you know, two teams. What's it called? Picking up the victory here. I'm gonna start on the Raw side. As much as I would want DIY to become tag team champions, it's not going to happen. I can see Awesome Truth winning the Raw tag team champions, and I think you can circle around some crazy funny scenario where it involves our truth. So I think you can utilize our truth to potentially split the tag titles. And then plus, Awesome Truth out of all these tag teams is probably the team that's gaining most momentum. And it's like, all right, after so many years of not teaming up, being reunited, our Truth has never won in WrestleMania, if my calculations are correct. And again, anything that our Truth does, it
Turns the
creates
gold.
buzz. Yeah, it creates buzz. So yeah, that's why I'm going with our Truth here to Awesome Truth here to win the Raw. Now for the SmackDown, I kind of want to see A Town Down Under maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the teams right now. Judgment Day is more of a Raw team. Awesome Truth is more of a Raw team. DIY is also a Raw team. New Day is a Raw team, and then you just have the New Cats Republic and A Town Down Under. So I think you kind of need a heel tag team to build around, and I think that two individuals, probably two of the most hated individuals on the WWE roster.
Two of the
Um,
most, I mean the two most guaranteed, diabolical. They spit in your coffee. Hate, hate,
yeah,
hate, 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 hate.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with them to be the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, but I think I just hope they split the titles. You have so many. Like I think the tag team division is getting a little crowded, and you just can't have one set of titles. So I think it's time to split them. Um, and then knowing the kind of like the tension that's been brewing within the Judgment Day, I think this is where like cracks start to show
Mm-hmm.
within the Judgment Day. So yeah, so I got Awesome Truth and A Town Down Under.
I'm glad you picked Austin Truth because that's what I'm taking. It just our truth has been the Iron Man for so long when it comes to being whatever it takes for the company, right? So when he came in, he was a mid Carter, and then he became a main event scene, right? When Cena and Rock, you got Miz and Truth, and those two specifically the ones doing all the work back then, right? So you have Truth doing he carried the 24/7 stuff for the longest. People hated it when he didn't have it, right? He's been involved in tag team scenes, the IC scene, US title scenes. He's done whatever it takes to make things work for him, and he's beloved amongst everybody. There's not one person in that company that does not like R-Truth. So after a while, you have to give people a bone, right? Give a dog a bone, and I think R-Truth deserves it. The Miz, another one. Whatever you ask that man to do, he might be the most underrated wrestler in WWE. When it's all, if you take away titles, accolades, he's a fantastic wrestler. He's a great face. He's an even greater heel. He's main event scene, you got it. He holds titles, you got it. He pushes titles to be better, you got it. So in this case, they're united back again. They were a great tag team back in the day, 11 years ago, 12 years ago? 12? Yeah, 12 years
Yeah,
ago,
just
13
about.
years ago, something like that. So why not? Right? Give them the belt. And it could be some funny scene like, y'all got the belt. And then here comes Truth, gives, one SmackDown belt to Miz. He takes one Raw belt, runs out. Oh, we don't need this. Drop this one, get the other one, take off and go. some kind of comedic situation.
Yeah, that's why you like they have to properly use R-Truth in this situation. And again, I say R-Truth is going to be the reason why there's going to be a split. It's going to be some comedic or some stupid situation where R-Truth just picks up the Raw tag team titles only and leaves the SmackDown titles.
Yeah. So it's just like and the best part is it'll come at the price of Judgment Day. Because of what's been going on with him, trying to get involved, doing great work with that. The Judgment Day, they've been kind of boring since the Rumble and since the Chamber. R-Truth has been doing a lot of that heavy lifting, alleviating themselves from having anything else to do, right? So why not use that and kind of stick in the Judgment Day in a way?
Yeah.
As for you know what? I might have to. I hate them so much. I just think they do such good. I'll take A-Town Down Under. It makes. Why not have a guy? Why not have a group that runs the tag team division be a heel group? It makes when they drop the belts to somebody, it makes it that much sweeter.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think like, maybe.
Who knows? Listen, who knows? It could be Newcastle Republic. Triple H is a massive fan of Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne, so it could be them. But I feel like,
Nah, I'm gonna sit with you. I'm gonna go with A-Town Down Under.
Yeah, I feel like somehow like Awesome Truth again will have a set of titles, and the other set, but again, they have to split the titles here. They just have to.
I'll tell you, I call it now. Miz and Truth get a set of belts instead of fighting. All right, let's go. We're done. What do you mean? We're done. We're done. We're champs now. We can leave.
I can know a scenario where like you kind of like said it, like R-Truth has both sets of titles and kind of tells the Miz, well, you know what, like, or some situation where like he drops the SmackDown titles in a way, something along those lines, So, but just the fact that Michael Cole again emphasized, both sets of titles must be retrieved. It's like, all right, you have to split the titles here,
and that's something we've been saying for a while. Like I said before, they're gonna split, and then we're like, no, it's probably not. You were so headstrong before about, they're not gonna split the titles, gonna carry through Mania, and then as time progressed, you were like, oh, they might split it. And then me and Henry were like, no, they probably won't split it. And then because Michael Cole comes and says, upon emphasis, once the champs win, once one title drops, that's it. Now the match continues. And you're like, okay,
and that's the thing. It's just there's so many tag teams, right? The tag team division is getting crowded for just one set of titles. So there's tag teams in the main roster right now that aren't in the match that, like, for example, when the Viking Raiders get fully healthy, right? You have the Creed brothers, right? Then, you can have a team from NXT, right? There's currently a tag team, right? That's free agents in the Motor City Machine Guns if they decide to join WWE. Like, the possibilities are endless, but it starts with splitting the titles. Next match for night one is brother versus brother, Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso. What do you got here?
Main event Jey. It doesn't like Jimmy's been great, right? You could argue who's the better.
Jimmy has been just as good as Jey, maybe even better.
Yeah, like
because as a heel, he's
who's better, Jimmy or Jey? One day you might pick Jimmy, the next you might pick Jey.
All right. When it comes to wrestling in the ring, right? Like in ring wise, I'm going with Jey Uso. Character development, I know Jey has been a big time face ever since leaving the bloodline, but you just gotta love Jimmy Uso and his heel. He's been a hilarious run, right? So in this match, I'm going with Jey Uso. Jimmy Uso has been getting the better of Jey Uso, costing him with the championships, attacking his brother occasionally. I think they kind of missed out on something. I think you could have had a special guest referee here. They definitely could have had like.
What if they decide to do it, and here comes their dad. Here comes Rikishi.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, you could have had Rikishi as a, as a, I don't know if it's a special guest referee or whatnot, but that would have been a nice touch. But the fact that the brother versus brother match is actually happening,
Finally.
yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to that. And with Jay having all this momentum ever since leaving the Bloodline, um, it feels like he's due for a singles push, a massive singles push. Now,
I think this is it here.
yeah, I don't know if this will lead to like him being in the main event, even though himself calling himself a main event Jey Uso, but
Which is
I think that,
catchy.
yeah,
He
I
got
think
the
is,
crown in his back pocket with the whole hand raise and all that.
yeah, and I think Jimmy losing here makes a lot of sense because it's like, all right, he's gonna have to suffer some repercussions for losing, right? Does he get, does he suffer at the hands of Roman Reigns or The Rock? Right? So, because it's like, damn, you couldn't be, knowing, the way The Rock and Roman Reigns are being built here, it's like, damn, you couldn't be your own brother and whatnot, and probably gets, what's it called, punished for losing against Jey Uso.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going with Jey Uso here.
Yeah, we're equal here.
Then next match on WrestleMania Night 1 is the IC Championship match between Gunther versus Sami Zayn.
I really, really, really wished that this was Chad Gable. I really did. I really wanted to happen. But I think we know that Gunther's run has now ended. It's time for him to move on for different endeavors. I think Sami Zayn is going to win this in a triumphant. I think they're rewarding him this match for all the work he's done the past 2.5 years of great work, right? So it's like, you know what? Here's your championship. Here's your singles push, right? And this will be this. It will come at the price of Gunther, which, by the way, there's no wrong way about it because Gunther's made the IC title probably the most relevant title and the strongest title in the company.
Okay.
So I'm going Sami Zayn here.
I'm going with Gunther. I'm going with Gunther here. I have nothing against Sami Zayn, but I love how like each WrestleMania they have like a certain superstar, right?
Underdog.
Do like an underdog story and go on this like Cinderella run, right? Last year, you can kind of say it might have been Sami Zayn, right, with Kevin Owens in a way.
In a great match.
I feel like this year they're trying to do the same thing, but with Sami Zayn, I think they should have done it with Chad Gable.
Yes, 100%.
But again, I'm not mad because Sami Zayn also does deserve to be there. I just think Sami Zayn is not the guy to defeat Gunther.
I think it should have been Chad Gable.
You can have Chad Gable. See, look, I think it's a situation where it reminds me. I think it was like one of the WrestleManias, and correct me if I'm wrong, where it was like Bret Hart versus Yokozuna, right? And then I believe Bret Hart lost, and then all of a sudden, or I don't know, like no, I'm sorry. Like Bret Hart gave his approval for Hulk Hogan to step in against Yokozuna, right? I feel like it's kind of like one of those situations where like Sammy is gonna give Chad Gable the approval and have him beat Gunther. So yeah, if that doesn't happen and it's just strictly a one-on-one match, then I still believe Gunther has it.
Imagine if Gunther gets his at this point now it's Gunther and his boys, right? And they go ahead and take out Sami Zayn. Cheers, Chad. Win it for me. And we get Chad, the ultimate underdog and one of the most renowned underdog cities, Rocky, Creed, right? Philadelphia. The Eagles. As much as you hate the Eagles, but this time and third,
I feel like
it happen as well.
Yeah, like a situation where like let's say Sami Zayn gets injured and can't continue, right? And just when they're about to announce, oh, due to ref stoppage, I think that's where like Sami Zayn goes and kind of gives his opportunity to Chad Gable. And if that happens, then
Chad Gable's winning.
we're definitely seeing a new IC champion. Because again, they're kind of going with this like Rocky storyline.
It's been
Perfect.
great. Like
Yeah.
you know what it comes off? It's poetic.
Yeah, absolutely. So, unless that happens, I still, I still have Gunther beating Sami Zayn on a one-on-one matchup.
Okay.
The next match we have is for the Women's World Championship match: Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch.
So I'm gonna take Rhea here. I think she is still gonna stay hot throughout Mania going forward. I think if she gives up a belt, it's going to be somebody coming up. I don't see like I want to see Becky win. I don't really think that Rhea loses. I don't think Becky wins at Rhea's expense. I was like, I thought about it last. I was like, oh, Becky's gonna win, Seth's gonna win, and then Seth's gonna lose. I was like, I think with the way the trash runs going back and forth when it comes to The Rock and Roman and everybody else, and the whole reference with Seth Rollins and Becky, oh, you're not even the man relationship. I was like, well, the man's about to lose to Rhea, and I was like, I thought I was like, that's not gonna happen. I was like, this could definitely happen. The more I thought about today, I was like, it's gonna happen. I'm taking Rhea over Becky.
Yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I think Rhea does retain over Becky Lynch. Um, again, this just adds to Rhea's resume. What was it last year defeating Charlotte, in which a lot of people thought that was like the match of the night.
Well, we spoke about that as top three. That was top three match of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you can have another banger here with Becky Lynch, right? I just don't.
A better fit, a better matchup. Between that's a better matchup.
Yeah, I just think, to be honest, that Rhea Ripley needs this victory more than Becky Lynch. As weird as that sounds, right? Because she
hasn't been wrestling as consistently as Becky, but this is a statement win for her as women's champ.
Exactly.
You can say what was Ripley's defining moment as champ? Not her winning it, but her retaining it against probably her best opponent yet.
And in the distance, a lot of people might disagree and roll their eyes, but you have a third person in this feud just lurking from the shadows, and that's Liv Morgan. And I think it just makes sense to have Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan, since there's a lot of history there, to run it back, as opposed to Becky Lynch, who we've seen her win the championship on numerous times, right? And personally, I would love to see somebody new become champion, right? So that's why I kind of have Rhea winning here. Like you said, I agree with you. This needs to be a statement victory from Rhea. And that's the thing. We don't know what happens with Becky Lynch, because there are reports out there that Becky Lynch contract comes up in like a month or two, if I'm not mistaken. So it's like, will she resign? Will she, go elsewhere? Will she retire? You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like uncertainty on that thing. But again, I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley for the victory here.
Yeah.
And the last match to close out night one is The Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins.
So, Bleacher Report has swayed me. I'm thinking about Rock Roman losing, and then they're not caring about bloodline rules and still get interfering in both Rollins and Cody Rhodes matches. And I was like, you know what? Why go through all that trouble when Rock Roman can just win outright and then do what they want to do regardless? So, I was like, no, make the bloodline being a heel faction more heelish. But I'm like, why go through that effort? Just have them win as is. It'll be a great match. It might be match It may go down as match of WrestleMania, just because the four wrestlers involved. At the same time, it's like
You saying that like
it
combining the two
can,
days that? Oh,
it
okay,
can has a possibility of
but it
being.
won't. But
It
yeah,
won't.
but it can.
It can. It has a possibility. Rock and Roman, Cody and Seth, four of the most popular male wrestlers in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has possibility to be something great. So I'm taking Rock and Roman here. I don't think Rock's going to lose at Mania.
Okay.
I don't think you bring him back to lose right like at this moment. I think when
That,
Rock and Roman go against each other, I think that's when Rock puts over Roman, yada yada yada. But we'll talk about that when it happens. It happens when it happens, right? We got instead of them being against each other, we got them together, right? Instead of against each other, we got them as a tag team. They'll win, and then we'll see Bloodline run loose and run wild in night 2.
yeah. And
So
we'll talk about night 2 in just a couple of minutes. I'm with you. I'm going with The Rock and Roman Reigns here. For the simple fact that one, I don't see The Rock losing, right? Two, it makes a lot more sense if you have a bloodline rules match on night 2, right? Where everybody and their mother is getting involved, right?
that might
And
be like a 45-minute match.
yeah, there's going to be surprises in that match, and I'll elaborate in a couple of minutes. But I feel like there could be a scenario where Drew McIntyre gets involved in this match. Look, there's 150% that whoever is the referee in that match is getting knocked out.
Oh, we know
There's
this. This is
no
every
doubt in
Roman
my
Reigns
mind.
match. Yeah.
No doubt in my mind.
I get paid tomorrow. I'll bet a paycheck.
Yeah. So that's where Drew McIntyre comes in, and I'm gonna say Claymore Seth because adding more fire into or more gas into that fire.
We may see
For
CM
night
Punk
2.
involved with this match because CM Punk's involved with all 4 wrestlers here. We might see after the Jay and Jimmy fight them both involved in this match.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good scenario. I think where they both get involved. Solo gets involved, but I think the one who makes the decisive,
Solo.
exactly would be Drew McIntyre. I think Drew McIntyre.
I think Solo makes the final nail in the coffin when it comes to somebody. I think it probably will be okay. So to create the friction between Rock and Roman, because we see it, right? We see it going forward and whatnot. Do we see Roman get brushed aside again and Rock pins Cody?
I think no matter what you see, I think The Rock picks up the pin. I mean, all right, that's a very good question because it's like you can see a scenario where Roman pins Cody again, and then the announcer goes, "Oh, is this what's to come on night 2?" Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Or The Rock pins Seth.
Okay.
So for sure, The Rock is not eating a pinfall victory here.
No.
And I don't think Roman picks up the pin. I mean, ends up. So it's obviously Seth or Cody, but yeah, I just don't see the bloodline losing in this match. And maybe we'll start to get teases of The Rock and Roman Reigns, like a friction between both of them.
We've seen it like on screen, like off match.
Yeah, I think like just something like very preliminary, but not too like obvious.
Not like Cena and Rock years ago. That was bad. That was like they hate it.
But just the fact that The Rock calls himself the final boss, right? The Rock acknowledging Roman Reigns, right? And then the fact that everybody in the bloodline throwing their ones, and then the Rock is throwing a big fat L. Like what does that mean, right? So I think those are just like little small things of things to come, and I think on night 1 we're just going to get another layer to it.
Let's get right into night 2, shall we?
Yeah, night 2. So night 2 we have a 6-man tag match, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits versus the Final Testaments, Karrion Kross, and the Authors of Pain.
congrats for the Authors of Pain to be back in wrestling. It's been so long, and now they're back in a consistent role.
Oh,
Which
by
is
the way,
nice.
it's going to be a Philadelphia street fight.
Oh, you know, it only makes sense with the Street Profits involved, right? Because I know last year the Street Profits will win this match.
So you're going Bobby and the Street Profits?
Yes, I like
All
that.
right.
Bobby and the Street Profits. That sounds like a movie.
I'm going with. I got to tell you
Women.
something. If Bobby and the Street Profits lose this match, they have to disband because I have no further interest in them. Now with the Final Testament, it's like there's potential there. But again, if they come up short, it's like damn, all that build up for what? For them to eat another L. All right, whatever. I'm going with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. They need this more. The Final Testament has been getting the better off them as late, so yeah, they kind of desperately need a victory here. So I'm actually looking forward to this because it is a Philadelphia street fight. So
It'll
I'm
be
going to see
fun. It's a
what.
fun gimmick match. You can't go
Yeah,
wrong with this.
yeah. WrestleMania Night 2 continues with LA Knight versus AJ Styles.
LA Knight gets a definitive moment here as AJ Styles coming back to the business after being away for all from injury, getting the W. I'm going AJ Styles.
All right, this is tough.
Oh, I would say you don't agree.
Oh, this is tough. I'm going with.
You can't go wrong here. I'm gonna just take AJ Styles.
All right, I'm going with LA Knight. My heart says AJ Styles, but I'm going with LA Knight. I think that LA Knight momentum has kind of like
peaked.
Yeah, it has peaked. That's perfect. And I think this just adds another kind of like chapter in AJ Styles where he's like, he's mad at the world and whatnot, and because I kind of like to see what happens next. I kind of want to see what happens next, but LA Knight needs the victory here. I feel like LA Knight is a suitable challenger for the United States champion. So, I'm going, LA Knight here. And speaking of the United States Championship match, we have a triple threat match: Logan Paul versus Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens.
So, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I'm going with Logan Paul.
Yeah,
I'm going with Logan Paul. I think Kevin Owens was thrown in there to get the pinfall. We're never going to see. Scratch that. I don't think we were going to see Logan Paul actually beat Randy Orton. But Kevin Owens is there. There could be a situation where Randy Orton, hits Kevin Owens with an RKO, and then Logan Paul just throws him out of the ring and pick up or steal the pinfall.
Heelers champ things.
Yeah, and he hasn't been a bad champion, Logan Paul. It's just that he hasn't been.
He's got to wrestle more.
Yeah, he hasn't been as active, but of course, he has to. They have to protect him. He's an influencer, right? But yeah,
the prime drink prime.
Yeah, I can definitely definitely see some really good RKOs. Like I can see like Logan Paul like kind of like springboard, and then Randy Orton catches him with an RKO here. So I think we're gonna be in store for a memorable RKO. But nevertheless, I do have Logan Paul retaining here. Continuing night 2, the WWE Women's Championship match between Io Sky and Bayley.
I think we can both agree here and amongst the rest of the world that Bayley will win tonight. Or win at night 2. It just makes so much sense. Why would you have her go through all this shit to be so high with damage control? Essentially started damage control, right? She started it to getting booted out, to being kicked down, being a can that gets kicked down the sidewalk, right? And be basically put down as far as she could to now come back, win at the Rumble, win going ahead, keep moving forward, and now she's here at Mania to wrestle. So it's just like, why not?
Yeah. I'm with you. I think Bayley wins here. Her along with Damage Control have been a force ever since Bayley returned. When was it? A year ago, right? SummerSlam. So just the fact that this is unfamiliar territory because Bailey hasn't been a face in a while, in
Like five,
years,
6 years
right?
pre-COVID.
Um, but now she's the fan favorite. And even though she's not the champ, she is the favorite to win this match, and I'm going with her. So I think this is going to be a great match because of you have two great competitors, and then also Io Sky's high fly ability, right? She's destined to make a match exciting, right? So yeah, Bailey gets her one-on-one chance at WrestleMania, and she's gonna cash in. I think she will become the WWE Women's Champion. Um,
With you all the way.
yep. And then we have the World Heavyweight Championship match between Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre.
So we're gonna go with Drew. As much as CM Punk is gonna be involved with this match in some capacity, being ringside, which is gonna be fun, right? Because who doesn't love my boy CM Punk, right? So I'm going Drew. I think we've all had the idea of Drew losing or Drew winning, finally getting his championship win not just at May, but in front of fans, and just the perfect timing. Granted, it's not a face; it's a heel, but a win's a win, right?
Yeah. Um. All right. Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. I'm gonna go with, and I don't agree with this, but it has to happen. I'm going with Damian Priest.
You're actually gonna fall.
I
You're gonna fall. You were no. You were so against this weeks ago of Priest winning. You're like, oh, I can't see it. It's not gonna work out. You're on record, and now you're gonna go and take the fall.
no. See, all right. Here's why it makes sense now. Just the fact that one of what is it? One of WWE's upcoming PLE events is in Scotland, and I'm like, that could be
Drew's gonna beat
that
Priest in Scotland.
that could that could be the moment where they can crown Drew McIntyre. By the way, for those rumors saying that he hasn't re-signed with the company and whatnot, I personally believe that, much like MJF with AEW, I think this is just my opinion. I have no sources or whatnot. I think WWE has re-signed. Drew McIntyre has re-signed with WWE, but nevertheless, I do think Damian Priest cashes in. I just don't see any other opportunity. It's either at Mania or the Raw after Mania. It's one of those two. And
you're gonna go with
the longest,
Mania.
yeah, I'm gonna go with Mania. For the longest, I've said that I think Damian Priest is going to have a failed cash in. But now, like, I don't know. I feel like we need to like swerve a lot of things up, and have him win cash in, win, and then again you can have another triple threat match, right? For the title in Scotland, or when and that's where Drew McIntyre is crowned champion. Like, but then again, I see another situation where Drew does win, right? And Drew's going, in my opinion, Drew is going to be world heavyweight champion until CM Punk is medically clear. I think that's just a given. We've seen the past couple of weeks Drew McIntyre taunting CM Punk while CM Punk is injured, and CM Punk is still nursing that injury, and he's not medically, he's not supposed to be cleared till probably September, October-ish, maybe, because that was the timeline that he was given. So yeah, I don't know how this is going to play out. So I'm going to go with Damian Priest, and then maybe again, because that's going to add to Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre's whole character right now is that he keeps getting screwed over and whatnot, yada yada yada. That's just adding another layer to it. So it makes sense, to be honest with you.
Okay, you shocked me here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to go different. Again, it wouldn't surprise. There's no way Seth Rollins is leaving with the World Heavyweight Championship. If he leaves with the World Heavyweight Championship, I know a lot of people who are going to lose it. But I just don't see a scenario where he comes out as champion. I mean, listen, either Drew again. There's a lot of scenarios. Drew wins.
Drew.
Either Drew wins, right? Flat out wins. Either Drew wins with an assistance from the bloodline, or Damian Priest cashes in. So it's one of those three. But I'll say Damian Priest just to be different.
Or Priest wins to stick it to or Priest wins with Punk's help to stick it to Drew and Seth.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. Okay, so get out the bag. Get out your bag, Soto.
And the final match, the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes.
Let's go, Cody.
I don't know. I said that last year, and
we were all shocked.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart.
Let's go, Cody.
Yeah, I think Cody Rhodes finishes his story here.
Cody doesn't win Sunday. It's over.
I don't know anymore. That's all I'm going to say.
Nobody knows. It's over.
I just don't know anymore.
That Mania, he may never recover from this.
What is he going to three-peat the Royal Rumble? No. He has to win here, and I think he will win here. Again, and this is just us assuming that it is a Bloodline rules match, right? Everybody's gonna go. Everybody's gonna get involved. Everybody's gonna get involved, and that's saying like Jimmy's gonna interfere, and to counter that, Jay's gonna interfere, right? I think we're going to have a same situation last year. You remember when Solo came in with the hoodie, got Cody in the corner? I think we're going to get some sort of situation like that, like history repeats itself, but I think it's going to be a failed attempt. I don't either it's not going to happen, or like, let's say Roman is the one who gets struck. So with Solo interfering, obviously the Bloodline has the man advantage, and I fully expect, and this is just me, I'm just throwing shit out there, and people could agree, people could disagree. I think we're gonna get either one or two legends back Cody Rhodes up, and those two legends
are John Cena and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Exactly. I think those two names are kind of like obvious, just because again reports have it that they want that WWE wants both of them at WrestleMania for some capacity, and I'm like, all right, what are you going to have them do a promo? I just think it's the perfect moment to have John Cena counter Solo, because obviously John Cena's last feud was with Solo. And then what a better way to counter The Rock, who's most likely going to get involved with his biggest rival in Stone Cold.
Now, here's a question. So we're gonna get a Solo. So we'll get a Solo. There's no music. Right? Solo pops out of nowhere. Solo doing Solo things. Right? Boom. Do we hear Cena's music? And Cena comes flying down the stage. Right?
Absolutely.
Rock gets involved. No music, right? Stone Cold music hits. He goes flying on the stage.
Yeah,
Or would you rather hear all four? Like, would your Solo music down, run down?
No. So when it comes to like Jimmy, and Solo, they're just gonna pop up like they always do. Hoodie. So
you're gonna go with the faces, right?
and then with Jay, Jay or Seth. Well, I don't know. Seth might be injured. Well, they come out, right, to no music. Now, Solo will be the last one standing after there's like a commotion, and then you can hear you can have John Cena exactly. So then
I will listen. I will shoot like a girl. That happened.
Yo, John Cena and Solo are going to be duking it out. Who's left? The Rock, right?
No music.
No music.
Okay.
And as The Rock is going to get involved, you have to hear the glass shatter. Don't do it. Don't. You have to. You
I'll
have
be
to.
doing this like a fucking child.
Yeah, I'm gonna be in Puerto Rico, and I'm gonna be seeing it on this like portable monitor thing that I bought.
Like this, like, oh my god.
Yeah, I'm bringing the Xbox too, or the laptop. I think one thing I'm throwing one thing against the wall. I don't know. Something's breaking if that happens. I just don't know what yet. But yeah, man. I think ultimately this ends with Cody Rhodes, finishing his story.
With Jay, Seth, Cena, and Austin,
Yeah,
right there throwing the hand. Yo, that's it. I'm hyped now. See, you see,
yeah.
I'm
My thing
solid.
is,
I'm
this
epic.
is what I would say probably the bottom of the ninth because they like to use this baseball analogy.
So
This is the bottom.
we're in the top of the eighth right now. Going
I
into
think we're in the bottom of the ninth. Now the question will be, will there be extra innings? That's I think the question. And I just think with this whole bloodline storyline, it's not going to finish here because I think The Rock will be so disappointed in Roman. Like you were the guy. I hyped you up and whatnot.
I
That
gave you everything.
exactly. Eventually, The Rock will turn on Roman. That's what's going to happen, and that's
So
going
the
to set
Rock
the
stays
match.
heel and Roman goes face finally.
Yes, yes, yeah. Um, I'm just excited. I'm definitely looking forward to this. Again, both NXT, WWE. Listen, WWE has done a tremendous job ever since you know Triple H was given the keys, right? And then The
He
Rock,
has not missed yet.
and then The Rock being back. Say what you want about The Rock. Ever since The Rock came, like WWE ratings have been skyrocketing, and the storylines and everything has just been fire. So again, I'm looking forward to this event. I'm sad that I can't attend it because I had vacation plans prior. But yeah, man. I think in this final match, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, we're going to be seeing so many surprises, and we're just going to be
Will
kind of
this
like
end up being the greatest
you
match of
kind of
all
know
time?
that feeling where you know
You know something about to happen. You know
exactly
everything's about to happen.
like what happened in Survivor Series. You thought it was done, and that feeling when you hit CM Punk's reaction, everybody was shocked. And when
Greatest pop of all time.
I think we're gonna get that kind of moment during the match, not after the match, during the match, because I think it's gonna finish with Cody holding on to the Universal Championship. So,
Will
um,
this match go down as the GOAT match of
I
WrestleMania?
I have I have no idea, but I think it's going to be magical. I think it's going to be magical. It's going to be legendary.
Bona
It's going to be.
fide 5-star match of the year candidate.
I have no idea. I have no idea, but I'm ready. That's all I'm saying. I'm ready.
That being said, we'll close this out by saying, fucking bring it. So I gotta just bring it. Just bring everything.
I,
Get all your
yeah.
popcorn ready. Get all your drinks, your sodas, your waters, whatever you want. I gotta get me some Dr. Pepper. I eat some Dr. Pepper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have, I'm saying, well, we live, baby. We live. What are you? This is gonna be so great. I was excited last year. I'm probably more excited now because of not just the matches. It's a great lineup. It's not one bad match on this card.
Yeah.
So it's just let's get right to it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people were disappointed with the results last year of Cody Rhodes and not winning, but when there was that shot of Cody Rhodes sitting in the ring and Roman holding the title, you knew that they were bound to run this back, right?
Yeah.
And again, WWE was just like, be patient because it's happening, and I feel like it's going to happen. It's going to happen night 2 this Sunday. And I'm all for it, man. I'm all for all the surprises, all the matches. I'm gonna be obviously in Puerto Rico, but I'm gonna be nonstop tweeting. I'm gonna be on TikTok. So for those tuning in, if If you want to talk, if you want to have a conversation, we can engage. So I'm ready, bro. This is like one of those WrestleManias where I'm kind of hyped because like the lineup, the storylines, everything kind of makes sense and everything
It's gonna
just
be
fits.
so
Like,
epic.
yeah,
Everything they have created a perfect storm, and by storm I mean a tsunami, a hurricane, a tidal
yeah,
wave. They have done such a great job in the span of 1 year
yeah,
building everything possible. We are not at that point now.
yeah.
So let's fucking get to it. 2 days away. 2 days away, or when this post comes out, 1 day away. The weekend is here. WrestleMania weekend has finally arrived, and we're on
I'm
this.
ready.
So that being said, as we crack the minute 15 mark, this will do it for a jam-packed, star-studded episode of the Sunset Flip Wrestling Podcast. We appreciate you guys tuning in week in and week out. You see that little rotating fucking link there, the link tree? You hit that shit up right there. We got everything we need. Everything you need. You want YouTube, we're on there. You want Twitter, we got that. Facebook, we got that. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, you name
We're
it, we
global.
on it. Worldwide. You think Pitbull had it like that? Nah, we're way better. We're way better than that. You what? I'm saying, like it's Philly, baby.
Why not? Right?
Yeah. If you want to catch us, if you can't see us live, you can listen to us on all streaming platforms. That includes Apple, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, you name it, we're on it. For those that want to start their own podcast, the app formerly known as Anchor, now known as the Podcasters app, collaborated with Spotify. So all you do is just a free and easy email 123, and you're good to go. And you can just how we have our podcast, us three, having playing, super parent, super dad, and whatnot with the power going on in PA. Hopefully, he gets that power pretty soon. And for this podcast, as well as many others, it's free and easy. If you want to promote, like we promote our podcast on now, you can use other Zoom. We use StreamYard for a small nominal fee. You too can make things work. So, from Soto and I, for Henry around the way, for all the fans getting ready for WWE. Here we go, folks. This is it, baby.
It's Mania season, and again, listen, I'm gonna be active. While Mania, I'm gonna be tweeting. I'm gonna be on TikTok. So
on the beach, sipping a coconut, watching Mania.
It's all right, but just again, like B said, join us, follow us, support us. We really appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Check us out. What's the game for? So what you got?
Rebirth Island, baby.
I'm already ready to go. You let me know we winners. Don't forget. Oh, that's the other thing on the first. I should have said in the beginning of the podcast. Rebirth champions, Call of Duty champions.
Yeah,
just like Cody Rhodes.
It was stressful. It was stressful, but we got it done.
Listen, stressful like what Cody's gonna go through on fucking Sunday night, but it's okay.
Yeah, mic drop.
Just like Cody, we will succeed. All right, kid. I'll you later.
All right, till next time.
Later.